Yeah. Yeah.
What's your impression of the growth that he's demonstrated, especially for a freshman early in the league?
Well, Ryan Hopkins, man, he's been a treat to coach. He really is, man. He's a guy that come in with the right mentality. He wants to lead. And one of my biggest things is, yes, the football is working well, but he's bringing people along with him. And it's probably the number one thing I preach in my room. And he just comes in with a business mentality. He's kind of an older guy in that young body, still got his goofiness about him, which I think guys gravitate towards. But at the end of the day, he's leading. He's leading. And I know the football will come. I saw him play in high school, saw him recruited him quite a bit, and I just knew he could be a baller football-wise. But to me, it's all those other things he's doing off the field with the guys and really on the field when he's not even the guy in there getting the rep. You see him bouncing around and really celebrating with teammates and just the little things that you want to see a guy have about themselves if they want to play this quarterback position.
Have you been around a guy like that?
Personality, were those some aspects that you saw while you were recruiting him in high school?
Oh, definitely, man. I definitely saw Ryan's leadership abilities from leaving one school and going to another. I kind of met him at a point in his life where he was making that transition. And so it's something that's kind of easier to see when a guy has to go into a new environment and mesh well with the guys and things like that. And so we all know the school he went to. I mean, it's players all around the field, and so he just meshed well with those guys. He led them well, and it was something I definitely saw in the recruiting process that I was hoping to see a bunch more as he got on campus.
Have you been around a guy that young that has caught on as quickly as he has here?
It's crazy you just asked me that question. I just told him last week, no, I have not. I mean, even when I was a receivers coach, obviously I've only been 1 year in coaching the quarterbacks, but I don't know if I've ever had a high school senior come in and splitting reps with the twos, and so, like I said, I just think it's the full package. I don't think it's just one good throw or being able to make a throw. It's the total package of being a leader and knowing exactly what he's supposed to do and doing it at a very high level.
What do you stress to him over these next 3 months between now and the start of fall camp?
The stress to him really is more of tightening up the basics, right? Like, he's a guy that's a longer quarterback, right? So longer quarterbacks have longer releases, longer legs, and things like that. And so just kind of getting rid of a little bit of that goofiness that may be in there at times, and you can just see the youth in his legs at times. But as he gets bigger and stronger, I think it's only going to get better. So just stressing those for the next few months to really tighten them up and make sure that he's putting himself in position to succeed.
We've heard from Luke and some other guys that Colton Joseph's confidence has kind of climbed throughout spring practice here. Where do you see that manifest, either on the field or in the meeting room? Where does it kind of come out the most to you?
I think you can feel it when his pocket presence comes, because he's a guy that we all knew could run and do different things, but he didn't, really do a lot of the things that we're doing in the pass game. He was a guy that really took a lot of shots and had some RPOs and things, and that was really cool to see. But his transition of having to take a drop in the pocket, you could tell was just a little different for him at the start of spring. And now you see him kind of taking those drops and the naturalism that he has of working the pocket with great pocket awareness and then taking off or creating a second play for the skilled players. It's easy to see, like, when he kind of calmed down, relaxed, and just play ball. I kind of felt at the start of it, he felt the pressure of, hey, I'm at a new school, people are expecting me to be this certain person and things like that. And you can kind of see it in his play where it was a little more nerves than him just playing football. And so about practice 3 or 4, somewhere in there where you just kind of felt like, okay, he's hitting his stride. And then I thought later on in spring, once we got to the last 2 weeks or so, it was just like, now he's playing football.
What's the balance when you have a guy that's athletic and is kind of used to not freelancing, but just kind of being a little more free like that, but then you're trying to get him a little bit more structured and use that stuff when he needs to?
No doubt. Well, the balance comes in confidence, right? Like, truly making sure that he is confident knowing that he's good enough to do this. That he was brought here for a reason. And so once we kind of got into more of the things that we knew he was comfortable with, you could see him. Like, honestly, we tried to get him a run early in practice. Like, get him a run. Let him get going. Let him get moving. And he's out in space, and now he's very scary. And next thing you know, he's throwing a deep ball. He's throwing a mid-range game ball. He's throwing the quick games and things like that. So just kind of finding out that comfortability level for him on what eases his mind and calms him down and lets him have a chance to just go out and play ball.
Coach, kind of on that note, obviously the mobility is a big piece of Colton's game. How have you seen him kind of balance that in practice, knowing there's a certain portion that he can't be contacted, but trying to get those reps in? Just how have you seen him balance that?
Honestly, I'd say I just love that he, like, I preach a bunch, play the game. right? Like every drill that we do, I don't care if it's team run, team pass, 7-on-7, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. We're going to play the game. And so I think his like balance and that mobility and being able to throw the ball comes when whatever the play presents. You know what I mean? And I thought he did a really good job as spring went on, understanding the why in our offense. Why are we calling these plays? What are we trying to get done? And once he kind of felt that, he was able to play more natural. And like I said, the pocket awareness, I mean, it shined really quick, and we all saw like, okay, this is the guy that we knew we got.
I would come out of this spring feeling like Ryan and Deuce might compete for the backup job when you get to fall camp, based on the fact both have taken 2 reps.
Yeah, no doubt. I felt as if, really all of spring has been that way, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not into wasting reps. So if you're getting them reps with the tools, it's for a reason, and everybody knows where they stand. And the kid has came in and put himself in position to do that, and it's. I know I keep saying it, but it's more of just the full package of what he brings to the table, in the meeting room, the leadership on the team, cultivating guys around him and bringing them to kind of be open and kind of goofy about the way he goes about it. And next thing you know, everybody else is laughing with him. And I tell him all the time, man, if you're having fun, we'll probably win it. And so you can just tell he's at a point where he's having fun.
How would you just describe, the way Carter's approach this spring, given, he was a guy last year that experienced the high of starting and winning games here, and now, kind of has to take a step back in terms of where he is? Yep.
Well, he's a guy that I really, really appreciate because at the end of the season, obviously I sat him down, had a real conversation with him just about, hey, the type of guys I was going to bring in. And look, you got to go compete. And we were really honest with each other early in spring when it may not have went his way, it might not have went well, but at the end of the day, it's not over. It's all about you being able to compete. And look, I preach competition every single day, right? I know we all go sign guys and we see things in social media and things. At the end of the day, what's real is what we know. It's the guys in the room that understands exactly where they stand and what you need to do in order to go get what you want.
Where are you seeing growth in Carter?
Yeah, the maturity aspect, to be honest with you. I mean, he's just a guy that, he came in and had a few problems early, but nothing crazy, nothing, any college freshman didn't get into. But it was just things that I told him, man, look, if you ever want to be the driver of this university, man, you have to be able to grow up and show people that you can handle that. Because we all can see, when you're a young guy and all of a sudden all of this pressure is put on you, we all know which the 2 different ways it can go. And so the maturity aspect where he steps up and understands like who he needs to be, he's done a much, much better job of it this spring. And looking forward to his progress throughout summer to come back and compete.
What stood out about Deuce and just his game in general?
Yeah, Deuce's game, what stands out to me is the calmness that he plays with. He's a guy that has played some big-time ball, may not have had a million snaps yet, but you can just see the calmness in a third-year college football quarterback, right? He's calm about this game. He never gets too up, never gets too down, and he's a guy that I think throws a natural football and has the athleticism as well to match up with the rest of the room. And so it's the full package. I would love to see him step up as a leader more and bring more people with him. He's a naturally, kind of introverted guy, right, where he doesn't come off as bringing people along. But he has that in him. And he's done a pretty good job of it throughout spring, but I need it to be great, so.
Is he a guy that you kind of have to draw more of that athleticism out of? Because he seems like want to sit back in the pocket and just deliver.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, you just hit it on the head. That's probably one of my biggest coaching points with him. Like, hey, just being able to, hey, defense did a great job, dude. Like, answer it. We have answers, right? That's why the room was built the way it is. And being able to give guys second play opportunities downfield, you have that ability. We just got to take advantage of it. So, yes, it's something that I talk to him a lot about and not holding on to the ball in the pocket. And I expect to work a lot this summer on him with it and see a progress on it in the fall.
Considering the way that Ryan has played this spring, has there been any temptation to give him a look with the starters at all?
Yes. I mean, all of them, you want to, see what they can do when they hop in that huddle. It's just at a point, man, where every year you feel like you're coaching a new quarterback to be the guy. You want to make sure that guy gets every single rep that he can. So it's hard, but he actually got a few throughout spring and did well. So, yeah.
Can we go one more for Kenny and just make sure we don't lose the guys?
When you get all those bigger receivers, what's that do for the quarterback room and the passing game to kind of change the dynamic there?
No doubt. Receivers and tight ends. I mean, you got some guys that are some big body guys, whereas in, being a guy that sat behind that center before, I mean, it's just much different when you're throwing to a guy with a frame that you can just know put it anywhere within his range, right? And so I think that has been something that's been a plus for us. We're getting more man from our defense, and so it's something that we get a chance to see those guys and what they can do in man coverage. So it's been a lot of fun to watch those guys, big body guys, go to work and use it to their advantage as well, right? We all know in the Big Ten, SEC, all these big conferences, like, you're going to be allowed to grab. And so at the end of the day, are we going to sit here and complain, or are we going to go match the energy and make sure that we give ourselves a chance to win?